Hey, hello fellow reefers. I'm just getting to work right now. You're probably familiar with this entrance. You see Jeff Turner coming all the time. Let me introduce myself. My name is Joleen Turner. I'm the swimmingly better half of Jeff Turner. Also, I'm the CFO of the companies, and that's the Chief Fabulous Officer. So come on in and let me show you my little nano tank. Welcome. Hey, good morning, Natty. How are ya? This is Natty Guzman, and she's my right-hand girl, and she's my office manager for Chemi-pure. All right, let's go check out my tank. Good morning, fishies. Here we have my Waterbox 20 nano aquarium, which I started about a year ago. And I'm doing this all on my own, so it's kind of interesting. It's a very simple aquarium, and I'm really enjoying taking care of my little corals here. So in the beginning, I put a note here that said Coral Mom in Training, because it's been a long time since I've had a reef or a coral tank. I did my storyboard on the fishes that I wanted to go in here, because I knew I had such a small area, and I wanted to get the perfect fish for the perfect tank. So I had to pick and choose between the array of fishes that I had available to me. Under here you can see that I have a water top-off box which automatically auto-feeds to the aquarium to put fresh water in there to keep the water level proper when I'm away on the weekends. I also have all my cleaning tools and everything necessary. The tank is powered by DSR, which is the Dutch synthetic reefing system. And once I got that set up, basically I don't add any additives except for the dosing of the DSR. Once I got the parameters established that I needed, unless I added additional corals, it stays stable. In the beginning, I used the real reef rock, which you can see in here. It was not live rock, so of course I had to go through some transitions. I got some dinos and some long dino hair algae, and then a little cyanobacteria. But once I got the carbon established properly, then I was able to get rid of the hair algae and the dinoflagellates in the aquarium. Right now we just have the typical growth of the algae on the front of the tank in the morning after a couple of days. And you can see that I have a little blenny in here that loves to eat the algae. He's an algae blenny. So I have little algae blenny kisses in here every morning that I can look at. And also my algae snails, my turbo snails, they give me a nice little trails that I can see that everybody's working hard overnight. Now, my algae blenny, his name is called Waldo, because of course, you look in the tank and you go, where's Waldo? Because he is the master of disguise. So he's a lot of fun. So let's get to the morning maintenance. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the screen that I had made by Buddy, which is an amazing tool that needs to go on a water box, an open tank like this so that my fish don't jump out. I'm gonna go ahead and get my Hannah salinity tester here and just check my water parameters real quick. Okay, we're at 1026. I could just add a little fresh water if I need be, but the dosing unit should have already added enough water for my aquarium to be complete. And in the beginning, it took a while to get the coraling algae growth. I've added some pieces of coraling from another tank because I didn't start with live rock, which of course Jeff Turner says, you must have live rock. And I said, well, let me just try it in this manner. And yes, the first few months it was a little challenging, but I did finally get some purple coraling algae growing because I seeded it with pieces from another tank, and it's growing nicely. Let's go get Waldo a piece of nori. We have lots of nori for him. Because it is such a small area of water, I don't want to have any contaminants in there. As they say, sunscreen for the ocean is not good. And so I want to make sure I get anything off of my hands that might contaminate the aquarium. Kind of like going into surgery. I'll get my handy dandy little towel. I also like to put down a little mat because I make a lot of drips, being a new aquarist. So I'm going to go in here and get my little clip. Put the suction cup back on there. Look at him, he's waiting. He's such a good boy. Sometimes he comes over and gives me kisses. Let's see if he's going to do that today. Here comes the shrimp. The little skunk shrimp, here he comes. He says, okay, shrimp, it's about time you get out of my way. Waldo's eating his nori. It's kind of like a filet mignon for him. He is a spoiled boy. What's really nice about the Waterbox is that it's all in one. So it has the little area for the overflow where you can put your filter sock. And then I'm gonna turn on the light for my mangrove I have growing here. And then I have an eShops protein skimmer. So I'm basically recreating a larger tank in a smaller version. And then of course the overflow goes here, and then that's where I know whether I need to add water or not. So the Waterbox originally came with this filter sock, which the micron on it is very dense, it's very thick. And what would happen is it would clog up with a lot of detritus matter in there. So I would have it overflowing or the water not going through the system to get back and pumped back into the aquarium. So I thought to myself, Chemi bags. And so I created the little Chemi bag, easy to use, disposable when necessary, with the filter floss in there. Void Enterprises has Chemi-pure, also Chemi bags. So this is a very convenient way to create your own little sock, because the micron on it isn't as thick and the water flows through it nicely. So I'm just gonna remove this. I've used it a few times, so I'll just toss it away. As you can see, this has the round circular area here that used to slip right through here. But what I do is I just take the bag and thread it through and then just put it on there. It works perfectly fine. So give it a try if your sock is giving you a little bit of headaches. So I take my little piece of floss and I just kind of shake it out, stick it in there, and then just put that right back there where it was. And it works fantastic. This coral over here in the corner is on timeout. I had him over here next to another coral, and he was putting his long tentacles out and stinging the other corals. Important thing about also creating your nano aquarium is learning where you're going to put the placements of your corals so that they don't sting each other. So my next hack is, of course, I am going to be using a Void Chemi bag, and I take and cut a little piece. And the reason why I do that is because I'm going to attach it to my MagFloat magnet. I'm putting the Chemi-pure bag on there so that once I go ahead and put it across the front of the tank, I'm not getting the stripes, which you would from the rougher part of the Velcro area. I'm gonna get the cleanliness of it being a nice, smooth, clean across the glass tank, and I don't have to go over 3 or 4 times. So it's a great little trick, and then that way you get your magnet done a little bit quicker in the morning. The shrimp shed its skin, its outer skin. That means they're very, very happy when they do that, and they're growing. So my pincushion urchin, he has picked it up and is carrying it around, but you can also see in my power head there, part of the tentacles have come and gotten caught up in that, so I'll have to clean that out in a little bit. Well, I'd like to introduce to you my newest roommate, which is Sammy the Samurai Japanese fighter fish warrior, and he's Sammy the Samurai. One of my little tricks for Sammy is I'm going to go ahead and put a Chemi-pure blue nano packet in the tank. And what I can do with this, since it's a little too big to fit in that tiny filter there, I'll bury it under the gravel. I wanted to introduce you to a few of my fish in here. Of course, I started with Nemo. The Nemos kind of didn't get along. They decided they both wanted to be females or both males, and they fought. So then my next fish was the firefish goby, which they're so super cool. I recently acquired a little scooter blenny that's down there in the corner. That's another newly acquired really cool fish. That's a Trimma goby, a blue line flagtail goby I just got. Swims kind of upside down like he's under the caves of wonder, under the rocks. As you can see, my corals at the top are a little bit the older corals. I have some acroporas, some bubble digitata, and the Fabia right there, which is the brown with the bright green, is one of my favorites. Just acquired to the left next to Waldo there is a blastomussa, which is a very slow growing. My first blasto is the red with the green one right there. And he's almost doubled in size over the years. So most of my corals I've acquired from frag swaps, local ones from Florida Marine Aquarium Society in Miami, the Reef Palooza in Orlando I went to and got some really cool blastomussos. I can go and buy corals wholesale, but I prefer to support the industry and my fellow fraggers, and my fellow reefers. So keep up the good work. Thank you for visiting, and have a wonderful day.